What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to the brother Joseph Jack for the donation to the channel via the PayPal. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. And he has a video request, and he says, I have a basketball topic idea for you that I think you might find interesting. The all-time 1-2 punch for each NBA franchise. He gave examples and said, I hope you like the idea. Peace. Well, I guess it depends upon how you look at this. Me personally, I just think it's simply the two best players for each NBA franchise. For the most part, that's how I kind of would look at it. Who are the two best players? And there goes your 1-2 punch. Now, some people might look at it as, well, no, you got to look to see how these guys would play with each other, where their personalities would mesh, etc., etc. I think that's a little bit too, you're looking too much into it with that. So it's actually a very simplistic thing. I just think of the two best players, in my opinion, or the two most impactful at times. The two most impactful players for each NBA franchise, and or the two best players for each NBA franchise. So let's see if I can name all of them. I had written them down, but I'm trying to see if I can remember all the teams, because it's 30 teams. So for Atlanta Hawks, I had Bob Pettit and Dominique Wilkins. Okay. For the Boston Celtics, I had Larry Bird and Bill Russell. You might not have the same players for each franchise. That's understandable. For Chicago Bulls, I mean, is there really any doubt? Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Now, Derrick Rose didn't win the league MVP, and Scottie Pippen didn't, but I just think most people would rank Scottie Pippen higher, both as an all-time player and with the Chicago Bulls organization. So let's see. So you have, for the Warriors, I would go, me personally, Wilt Chamberlain and Stephen Curry. Okay. Now, some people might choose Rick Barry as one of them. That's understandable. But I would go, I better have this paper just in case I get mixed up with teams. But I think I'll do okay. So I have, like I said, Wilt Chamberlain and Steph Curry. Let's see. The Grizzlies. The Grizzlies don't have the most storied history, but I guess I would go Marc Gasol and Ja Morant as their all-time 1-2 punch. The Pacers. Now, one caveat with me is that I do include the ABA. So since I include the ABA, that would influence my list to sometimes be different, or my pickings to be different than people who just say only include the NBA. But since I include the ABA, for the Pacers, I would go the Roger Brown, and Reggie Miller. Okay, Roger Brown and Reggie Miller. Matter of fact, let me get all of the ABA affiliated franchises out of the way. For the Spurs, it's a tough one, but I would go Duncan and Robinson, the real life Twin Towers, the real Twin Towers duo. Although I don't mind and wouldn't fault anybody to put George Gervin in that duo together as well in some sort of capacity. But I would go Duncan Robinson. For the Nets, since I include the ABA, I would go Julius Erving, the ABA version of Julius Erving, and probably Jason Kidd. That's how I would go with that franchise. And Am I forgetting a team that's the NBA? Oh, yeah. And the Nuggets, wow, I was tempted to go David Robinson, not David Robinson, excuse me, David Thompson, but I would go for the Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony, and Nikola Jokic. And I guess they have to fight over who wears number 15, but that would have to be the duo. Now, I understand you could argue Carmelo and Jokic may not fit quite together, but they'll have to work it out some type of way. Okay, they'll work it out. Lakers, man, it's a big pick. A lot of guys you could pick from them, but I would go, me personally, Magic and Kobe. That's my duo with the Lakers, Magic and Kobe. Um, for the Hornets, hmm, I would go Rice and Muggsy Bogues. For the Wizards, I would go um, Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes. And I think I already said Celtics, right? Yeah. So, matter of fact, let me look at this list so I can go a little faster than this. So I'm kind of like just skimming through in my head different teams. So the Bucks would be Kareem and Giannis. The Cavaliers would be LeBron James and Brad Daugherty. And the Raptors would be Vince Carter and DeMar DeRozan. Although I can see an argument for Vince and Chris Bosh. The Pelicans would be Anthony Davis and Chris Paul. Timberwolves, I would go with Kevin Garnett and Anthony Edwards. The Dallas Mavericks would be Dirk Nowitzki and Luka Doncic. The Orlando Magic, I would go with Dwight Howard and Tracy McGrady. Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade and Alonzo Mourning. The Knicks, I would go with a Twin Tower duo of Willis Reed and Patrick Ewing. Although I know some people might be like, well, will they really work well together? They're both pretty much mid-range jump shooters. I guess it had to be a young Pat Ewing and an older Willis Reed. Whatever. They'll work it out. The Suns, I got Charles Barkley and Steve Nash. For the Thunder, now this is a tough one because with the Thunder you have the Sonics too, right? So you want to say Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, right? But then you also have the duo Peyton and Shawn Kemp, right? So what I did was I compromised. I took one of the latter duo and one of the older duo. So I went Russell Westbrook and Gary Payton. Now I know in many ways they wouldn't mesh well together, but as I said at the same time, with all these guys, they'll figure it out. I guess Russ would have to, Payton have to play more off the ball because Russ is most effective with the basketball, right? But that's I just split the difference and took one from that duo era and one from the other. Jazz, Stockton, Malone. That's what. It's too easy. The Kings, I'll go with, since they used to be the Royals, I would go with Oscar Robertson and Mitch Richmond. The Clippers, remember they used to be the Buffalo Braves? So I'll go with great Bob McAdoo and Kawhi Leonard. And who am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting? The Trailblazers, I got Bill Walton and Clyde Drexler. The Pistons, I would go with Isaiah Thomas and Grant Hill. The 76ers, if I haven't said them already, Julius Erving and Allen Iverson. The Rockets, I would go with Keem Olajuwon and James Harden. Yeah, Mongo Slade. And I think that's it. I think I've mentioned every team. I think that's it. If I haven't said Hawks, I think I did say them already. But if I haven't said the Hawks, I would go with Bob Pettit and Dominique Wilkins. But I think I mentioned them already. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, That's pretty much it. If I had to go with an all owners, all commissioner team, two best commissioners in NBA history, I guess I would go with David Stern and Lawrence O'Brien. Damn sure ain't Adam Silver, you know. But that's pretty much it. That was a via request, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know you guys will probably have a different criteria. Me, simply, I'm just going with the two best players for each franchise, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure you guys have different opinions, especially with franchises like maybe the Knicks and the Lakers. You know, you might go with different players. Anyway, tell me what you guys think.